Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up politics. San Diego's bisexual council member enters the ring against Darrell Issa. San Diego City Council member Martin Van Wilpert says her run for Congress isn't about ambition. It's about survival. The bisexual Democrat is challenging Republican Representative Darrell Issa in California's 48th district. But she's driven by what she calls an urgent need to protect democracy and LGBTQ rights under Trump's presidency. Von Wilpert told the advocate, quote, "I'm watching things that I've built my career on, my life on, be crushed by President Trump. As a young woman in this fight, I've lost my rights under Roe v. Wade. And as an LGBTQ woman, I'm worried about losing my rights to equality under the law," end quote. A former Peace Corps volunteer and civil rights attorney, Von Wilpert has spent her career advancing labor rights and consumer protections. On the San Diego City Council, she's championed housing affordability and authored California's first law banning untraceable guns. She added, quote, "Living our lives as LGBTQ individuals has always, unfortunately, been a brave act in America. If we don't do it now, I don't know what democracy might have left to fight for 3 years from now," end quote. Her campaign, she says, is grounded in love. Quote, "The antidote to hate is not tolerance, it's love," end quote. Well, I think this is a wonderful story because this is the first time I've heard Darrell Issa in the media in about 8 years. And I think before we even get into her candidacy, to remember, Darrell Issa was part of this Young Guns group with Paul Ryan and Trey Gowdy. Look where all they are. They've been wiped off the political realm. And that's just a reminder to Republicans out there that, no one is safe under Trump for very long. But with her, she seems like a great candidate. She also, at the national level, she helped write the PRO Act. She seems to be doing a great thing with most of her campaign. If I was to advise her and to potential candidates, the democracy talk does not actually move voters. What you're going to do, her work on economic stuff, that'll move votes. And I think she's going to be a strong contender in this race.
It's the economy, stupid, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
I love that she's advocating for our community.
For sure.
I love that she's bringing up her own disabled right, wrong word, her own rights of her past, her history, and making it an issue. I think that's really relevant, and all these Democrats have to stand up and stand out or we're going to lose the election. And you're right, it's not just about democracy, even though that's probably the most important thing of all of them.
I think that's right. And I think I also am I applaud her and I'm grateful for her. And I want to see more of this. That is I just want to see more folks coming out, understanding that the issues that are most pressing for us today are the most basic, right? That is, of course, democracy has been holding on to, it has been so fragile for so long.
It's never been threatened like it is
It's
today.
never been threatened to the extent that it is right now. And well, actually it has, but we've seen an escalate, it escalates certainly at this moment, no question. It's you could almost see it just hanging by a thread.
There is hope. Run for Something is a group that tries to encourage people to run for office.
Yeah.
They've gone thousands of people expressing interest in running for office. We see people like Zoran Mandani really just coming out of nowhere and taking it everywhere. And it works. And the only way to protect democracy is through making sure that government does what the people need. People have talked about, a 1930s politician from Germany didn't rise during a time when the government was very effective. When governments fail is when tyranny and chaos.
Right. It creates gaps for people to then come over and authoritarian. I mean, it's just so easy. It creates these kind of voids, and that's what they're betting on.
And that's what's so frightening today is that this isn't 1930s Germany. People today are educated. There's television. There's a lot of it. Unfortunately, now as we know with the algorithms and everything else, people stream exactly what they want to hear. There is no other side to want to listen to. And I'd say I'm somewhat guilty of that myself, being a Democrat. But until people understand that what's going on today is really scary, we're going to have some big problems.
That is another big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.